energetic, passionate, and savvy. Gouche Live, brought to you by the good people at the Hockey News and Sports Illustrated. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Gouche.
You are watching Gouche Live right here at my home office in downtown Toronto. Well, not kind of. It's up north in Richmond Hill, but it's still in Toronto. And I'll tell you what, I've got two extra special guests that we're going to be talking to today, all about a thing called pond hockey. If you've not seen it, not played it, I just went out to Canadian Tire and got the Winwell pond hockey nets. They're spectacular. I'm going to shoot a lot of goals, I'll tell you what, even without a goaltender. Obviously, in the background, you see celebrating the 100th year of hockey. It's an NHL promotion that happened a few years ago. But I'll tell you what, this is what it's all about, building the game through pond hockey and allowing little kids and people that may not be at the top of their game yet to have a little bit of fun outdoors, and we'll be doing that in Berlin. And you know what? It's been brought to you by those good people at the Hockey News and, of course, Sports Illustrated. This is the jersey that I put together for the Stop Concussion team that'll go up against the Geronimo Stars. It's going to be an event. We'll talk to Olof Erikzon, the creator of the event, in a few minutes about it. But this is the jersey we got. We're getting a logo put on for the Christmas Classic, the Capital Christmas Classic 2023 in Berlin. And I'm flying all the way over there. At 64, I'm going to go on the ice and shoot a few goals. What do you think about that? Hey, forget all that stuff. Let's get to the important people. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the man that you know, Captain Johnny.
Hey, how are you? How's it going, Gouche?
I'm fantastic. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Hey, listen, we want to
Winooski, Vermont. It's a lovely winter day. What started out sunny and clouds, but now it seems to be, I don't know. It's not looking as good as it could.
Hey, Robert Weinstein. Woohoo! I'm here, and we're glad you're here, Robert. Listen, we got a great show. Obviously, this is all about pond hockey, and we're going to talk about that in a few seconds. And then again, we get a chance to get the creator of the Capital Christmas Classic in Berlin. I know you're not going to make it this year, but we are in the plans of having you join us next year with your great new company called Captain Johnny Pond Hockey. Let's first talk a little bit about the classic movie called Slapshot. We'll just spend a few minutes on that. Obviously, you had the role as the captain of the Chiefs, of course, Captain Johnny. In a very short sum up of it all, it's 70 years ago, and you're still one of the most popular characters on the planet. What's going on?
Let me correct you. It's almost 50 years ago. But no, it's been great. I love it when the fans come out and still remember and bring their kids who have not seen the movie, or if they've seen the movie, the volume control has been riding by the parents as they go through the offensive language. But
not that there's a lot of it.
Not that there's much, but the idea that people still love that movie and people still follow and people still respond is terrific. And I don't know if I told you, but we were just out at Pastime Sports out at there was an international card show out there, just like the one we attended in Toronto, and there was one out in Vancouver. And Ken of Pastime Sports brought us out, and we surprised a bunch of traders. I didn't know that this happened, but card people show up at these shops, at these card shops, and they actually trade cards and buy cards and we surprised them with a visit, myself and two of the Hansons, and just had a blast. And we, meet kids from, age 12 to kids that are 65 and 70.
That's great. And they're all kids.
Kids.
Listen, talk to me about it stuck with us last night. I don't know if you got a chance to watch the Ottawa Senators play against the Florida Panthers. It almost looked like a Slapshot movie. There were so many 10 minutes. I think there were only 3 guys left on the bench.
I have a question, though. Why did Matthew Tkachuk go to the dressing room? He wasn't on the ice when the big the 5-on-5 fight started.
Well, he's a chirper, so I'm sure he chirped a little bit, and they just sent him back.
Chirped his way off. Okay, but that did, and I remember the announcer making reference to pond hockey, towards the end when there was like 5 guys on the bench and 5 on the ice or 6 on the
Well,
ice. He
of course
said,
they would.
looks like a pond hockey game out there.
Yeah, no question. Hey, listen, Greg Bowden's coming in saying, hey, Captain, looking great. Of course, it was great to see you at Pastime Sports and the games. And I'll tell you what, Greg's a big supporter. Happy birthday to Norm Bowden, your father. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he is 82 today. And I'll tell you what, his shoulder pads that he was wearing when I played with him a couple of years ago for a charity event in Vancouver, it looked like they pulled him and the shoulder pads out of the Hockey Hall of Fame. All right, let's talk a little bit about pond hockey and why you're doing what you're doing. Captain Johnny is going to become a segment on our show, a segment with, of course, Captain Johnny talking about all the things that make our game great. It all started on a pond. Let's not forget that.
Well, I started playing on a pond. My parents threw me on a pair of cheese cutters. And for those of you that don't know what cheese cutters are, they're 2 double-bladed things that you tie onto your boots and you go out and you play hockey.
Yeah.
And I used to put magazines in my socks for shin pads. And I'd put on the warmest sweater I had and the warmest gloves I had and grab a stick and play. And it was just about the fun of the game. I mean, the joy of getting out there and playing. And I think what's happened in hockey is we've been overwhelmed with algorithms and drafts and salaries and salary caps and all of this and analytics, and you're supposed to be this and have this much body fat, that we're starting to forget the joy of the game.
Absolutely.
And I think that by pushing pond hockey at an early age and pushing it at a later age, there's no age limit for pond hockey.
Yep.
And nobody's going to get hurt. You might get a little bruise on your butt now and then. You might get a little welt on your shin, but you're not going to get hurt. You're not going to get damaged.
Yep.
And if you play properly and play, it's about playing a game. And I mean, I loved playing. I was on the ice when I was 4 years old. I never stopped. And I played hockey up until 19. Then I stopped when I moved out to LA. And then when Slapshot came along, I put blades on and it was like I never got off blades. Matter of fact, I skated better in Slapshot than I did when I was playing Junior A.
Who knew? You may have made the NHL at that time. Hey, listen, we're obviously going to bring in Olof Erikzon. He's the creator of this incredible event that I'm flying into. I know next year you're going to join us. Just think about that starting lineup. Next year, Kerry Goulet, 65. Captain Johnny, 79. And then let's see, we've just got an offer that Greg Bowden bring out the Pond Kings. So that means this will be the line. I'll go center because I'm the only one that probably back check. Kerry Goulet, 65. Johnny Upton, the captain, Johnny Upton, he's 79. Will he be 70? Will he be 80 then? And then we'll have Norm Bowden on our right side. He'll be 82.
Nice.
Do the numbers, 200 years of experience.
All you got to do is be able to pass and enjoy and skate and move.
That's all you got to do. Yeah. All right. So you started this new company. You were going to be doing lots together over this coming year. We're going to try and do something in January and February where we'll host a Captain Johnny pond hockey event. But it all starts now in Berlin, which is really exciting. And I'll tell you what, the Stop Concussion team, the All-Stars, I'm not sure how many guys we got yet. I don't know how many are actually All-Stars, other than maybe my good friend Yannick Zillian coming in from Timmendorf. But I'll tell you what, we're playing against the Geronimo Stars, and these guys travel the world. Marcus, I hope I say this right. I know Olof will help me. Nursery, whatever. I'm going to be going up. I hope he's younger than me.
Are you? Were you recruiting when you were over at your 35th reunion?
Yep, but everybody was too old and nobody was skating, and everybody was fatter than me, so I had to cancel. Hey, Eric Mathis, Captain Johnny, should I dust off the pads? Good on you. Eric, we'd love to have you come out and join us, but there's no goalies in pond hockey. So you'd actually have to learn how to skate. All right, in closing, I want to tell you the jersey that I'm wearing, Stop Concussions. We work obviously not only with concussions, mental health. As you know, I lost my sister to mental health. We're dealing with suicides in players, just the mental health of the game itself, a lot of pressures. This jersey was designed for a bunch of players. I wore this in the Hanover pregame show last year. And what it was used for was Barry Monroe, Marc-Andre Edmond, Ryan Durham, Kirk Gangenbuck, Eric, obviously a good friend of the Timmendorf. Tape Caesar broke his neck a couple of years ago in Timmendorf. And of course, my very good friend, dear friend who I lost a few years back, certainly thinking about him, Robert Belfour. It was designed to do that and help people understand that we play a game that we absolutely love, but it can change in an instant. And we certainly want people to know, keep playing, have fun, but let's make sure we're taking care of the noggin and, of course, the spine.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Corey's inviting us down to Minnesota for the U.S. Pond Hockey Championships in late January. You know what? We'll talk about that later. But let's get into the reason why we're here. It's fantastic. Captain Johnny's coming out with a line of clothing eventually and equipment for pond hockey. You know, everybody says you just need your gloves and stick. I think you need to wear one of those things to protect some other stuff. But certainly it's important to wear a helmet always when we go on the ice. Wear some gloves so we don't break a couple of knuckles. But it doesn't take a lot. And I think you said it best. Whether you're young or old, you can fall in love with the game playing pond hockey.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, like, what is Captain Johnny's mission statement, or, you know, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to put the game back in the game. I think there's too much analytics. There's too much, you know,
analyze, paralyze, analyze, paralyze.
You know, it's like, and with regard to pond hockey, yeah, you got to play safe. But really, when I played as a kid, and I played from, like I said, age 4, probably all the way up to age 15, we always had a pond hockey game going somewhere.
Yep.
And it was just a matter of putting on what you had and, you know, hanging by the door. And you know, there's no hitting, there's no slashing, there's no, it's about duality with the puck, and it's about being able to skate with the puck. It's being able to pass. It's about teamwork. It's about respect. And I mean, if you happen to slip and fall and bump your head, you're not going to hurt it that bad.
Nope.
I mean, I think as soon as you go out to play pond hockey and you start putting any equipment on, then you're stating the case for not having fun and not having the game. I think the idea is to put whatever you have on and get out there and play and not think about hitting or slashing or sticking or the old Gordie Howe move in the
you got it.
clavicle. Gordie. Oh.
Hey, listen, you said have fun. You say don't take it too serious, but I'll tell you what. This is Gouche Overtime, brought to you by the good people at the Hockey News, of course. And bottom line, where I'll be there tonight with Paul Rosenstock in the NHL. This is war. It's the Geronimo Stars up against the Stop All-Stars. And I'll tell you what, the guy that's put it together, we're going to win a trophy. It's called a Pokal. It's called the Preußen Pokal. And the only reason why we're doing it is this guy that's joining us, Olof Erikzon, all the way from Germany. Olaf.
There he is.
Wie geht's?
Well
Servus.
And he's
Alles gut, Leute.
Yeah. Hey, Olaf, thanks for joining us. We can see that it's a bright sunny day here in Toronto and Vermont.
Yeah.
And it's a very nice dark night in Germany.
Yeah, it is.
We're going to be talking about the Capital Christmas Classic in Berlin at the Eisbahn Lankwitz. Of course, I've got my very special guest, Allan Nicholls, with me, Captain Johnny, of course, Johnny Upton, and now Olaf on December the 8th, which is next Friday. You are hosting not only this pond hockey game against these two formidable teams, you're also doing a 3-day weekend. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about that, of course, so that we understand what we're up against?
Yeah, well, we are doing the first annual Berlin Capitals Christmas Classic. and it stretches over the course of 3 days. The Eisbahn Lankwitz is the great host and partner for this special event. And we are having the different parts of the game put together. We have the future in terms of the new academy. The under 15 team will play what we have heard should be the first outdoor game at this level, at least, made for the youth, the Nachwuchs, what we say. They will play the Grizzly Wolfsburg from the league, and it will be a great festival and turnout. Like a celebration to the new built academy, which is part of the bigger rebuild of this fine organization. It will carry over to what you are mentioning, Gouche, the pond hockey big showdown, battling it out for the Preußen Pokal. The Preußen Pokal will be the annual trophy handed to the winners in the different courses here, because we have 3 categories. We have the academy game, we have the pond hockey showdown, and we do have a grassroots hobby hockey tournament coming up, which is already in place thanks to the Eisbahn Lankwitz and Ice Business GmbH. I have to mention the great cooperation with these people. So all of these 3 will have their name in the trophy. And we have on the Saturday the big public skating. We were there the other day, and it was amazing turnout. It was so much that they had a line of 200 people standing outside to go on this beautiful, nice outdoor rink with the lamps and all the classic exteriors you can imagine. 200 people standing in a line, and it was 1,200 people in the facilities there. So that's how popular this is, to get out in the free and to this great sport facilities in Lankwitz and have a skate under the bare sky. It's a great place.
What's unbelievable is that Johnny, obviously Allan Nicholls was over here a couple of weeks ago, and we were just talking. He was talking about his pond hockey company and how he wants to leave a legacy for the game. And then all of a sudden your concept came up to me, and I thought, wow, all the moons are aligning, and we're going to be able to build this into something long lasting. Both Allan and I, obviously being at the age that we are, our skates have become our passports to the world. I've been able to travel everywhere, of course, playing. Johnny or Allan has been able, as you know, John, I've taken you around the world, and you've done on your own. So this is really exciting that Olof, you had the vision to understand what Allan was thinking about. Allan, I know you have a question for Olof on the overall why, but it's certainly it's aligned with what your thoughts were about this, Allan.
Well, I wanted to ask you, Eric, Olof, the idea of pond hockey. Did you guys build the rink especially for this, or?
No, this is using in the existing facilities. We happen to have a great connection here with the guy who is running this rink, and the idea came to us, like, how can we make something which is annual, which brings the people together, which shares the different parts of the game. That was the mission, and it started to grow when we have the new academy with talents from all over Germany playing together for extra development under our umbrella. That was obviously the more professional part of this, but I always like when it carries over to the lifelong passion of the game, because that's what it is. We started at a young age, all of us playing, we started at a young age. We want to go all the way naturally. Very few are making it all the way, but I used to say that each and every one will have the chance for a lifelong passion of ice hockey. And that's what we need to also nurture. And we need to sometimes rejuvenate our passion for the games by going back to the way it started, the grassroots, the spontaneous ice hockey. I think that's what's lacking mostly in Europe, because you guys are very fortunate in Canada to have a lot of ice rinks in every block and a lot of opportunities, whereas here it's naturally a different scene. There is few ice rinks, and it all becomes very organized at a very early stage. There is not so many opportunities during the course of a winter to enjoy the game for those who is doing it recreationally. So we wanted to build in that factor. How can we nurture the lifelong passion for ice hockey? And there is, of course, a history with Berlin Capitals team, which we are bringing together with a new group of people. We have 1,889 games for the highest league for this club in Germany. That's the people which are on the board for the rebuild. And we would like to always carry what we say the Preußen DNA in what we do. We have a special history of this club. We have something which is debatable. It's spectacular. It wasn't always the greatest situations, but if you have something where the passion could never die, where the fans was still carrying this club alive by their hearts, it's something pretty amazing and something to be proud of, regardless of what happened, when it happened, and how it was. We are always saying that each and every one who was a part of this great club over the course of the years, it's 40-year anniversary this year, and it's a 130-year anniversary since ice hockey first started professionally in West Berlin. The heritage of our club hails back to the 1800s. They were the first pro team of German hockey. They were the champions, the Rekordmeisters.
Wow.
These guys who was in the original West Berlin club. So we have something spectacular to be proud of. For all clubs, it's not a straight line. However, it's what made the tradition so special like it is. And the passion from these fans, lifelong passion for this club, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. Just as we are speaking right now, there is a fan club meeting where our fan ambassador is bringing together all the old fan clubs. And this is the thing, they are still active despite the club being gone for a long while. They are still active, and they are now bringing them together because we do have a game in Berlin which they can come and follow the team again out on the ice. The under 15 players have given this Berlin Capitals club heart and lungs, so it can start to walk again.
That's great. That's a great revival, a great like revisionist history. Just when you were saying about the original teams playing in the 1800s, my granddad, who's in the Hockey Hall of Fame, was one of the first hockey players. His name's Riley Hearn, and he played with the Montreal Wanderers. And of course, in those days, all their games were played outdoors.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of what brought me back to thinking about it more, was just getting into, well, first of all, I wasn't thrilled with all the talk of hockey and all the, the things that are keeping hockey alive now. You bet on hockey. I mean, it's just, I know it's entertainment and all of that, and it's sport, but I just wanted to see more of the game back in the game.
Yeah. The joy of it, the easiness, when you lace up the skates and you have a magnificent winter day together with friends, and you share the expectations and the thrill for the game you're going to go home and watch maybe on the TV on the night. I always say this thing that the most games are played mentally in the head of the kids doing it spontaneously out on one ice. All of us have scored the winning goal in a Stanley Cup final growing up. We have done it so many times in so many different versions, in so many different ways. So it's important to keep this sparkle alive of the game.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Olof. The unfortunate part in my dreams, I hit the goalpost. That's why I didn't win.
No way.
Get to the NHL. Hey, listen, this is it. This is where we're playing. Look at that, John. Look at that. How great is that? And here's the poster. Here's the poster for it all. The Christmas Classic 2023. It's the first. It's the Preußen Festival. We're playing at the Eisbahn Lankwitz. Talk to us a little bit about, obviously, how you got everybody so keenly involved, Olof, because especially after COVID, people kind of got into that, the turkey lull. After you've eaten a big turkey dinner, you kind of lay on the couch and don't want to do anything. We now need to get people off it. So even if you're not a great skater, great hockey player, pond hockey is a game that's suited for you. How'd you get everybody so passionately involved?
Well, I think it's just the matter of revitalizing the joy of the game. I think it's always residing within everybody who has once had this pure passion for ice hockey. It's actually not that hard. It's to ignite the fire, leave the spark a little bit, and people will start to remember again how great it is to be out there in the cold, in the bare sky, playing the great game they love. So I don't know. It's actually not that difficult when people start to remember why they first, once upon a time, long time ago, fell in love with this game.
So obviously, Allan, we've been talking lots about, getting you up and running. We're really excited about over the next couple of months of it developing into what it will be. Obviously, 2024 is going to be a big year for all of us as we lay the foundation with Olof on this particular event. I'm really excited myself to be able to have the opportunity to fly over there and be on this outdoor rink, thanks to Olof Erikzon and Bruce Jessup. I got to do a shout out for Bruce.
Yeah, we got to mention
that...
Bruce here, because Bruce is the one actually with his magics and with his network and experience as being the leading ice hockey photographer. He's the one that sort of gets things rolling and connects the people, and the rest will play itself out like a domino. So Bruce, we salute you, and we really have so much to thank for your great network from all these years you've been active as a professional ice hockey photographer.
And Allan, you'll be very happy to know that he is a huge Montreal Canadian fan, but also he was a photographer back in the 70s and 80s. And he actually, of the Montreal Canadiens, I think he worked for the Montreal Gazette, if I'm not mistaken. And he did my career over in Germany, and I can't thank him enough for introducing me to Olof. There's lots more stuff to come on. Allan, you got a comment?
I was just wondering if I think I've met Bruce Jessup, actually.
Yes, you have, on our tour over to, you're right, you did get a chance to meet him.
I have met him. Yeah, and I think I met him back in the day, too. When
you
he was in Montreal.
You certainly, he's that ugly guy, gray-haired ugly guy.
Well, when I was promoting Slapshot, I went to the forum, the beautiful forum.
Yes.
And got, photo ops with Jean Beliveau and Maurice the Rocket Richard and Guy Lafleur, and it was pretty amazing.
He probably.
I have a question for you, Captain Johnny, childhood hero. I've seen the movie so many times. Like today, when they make the ice hockey movies, they do the casting, and they happen to find people who sort of already know how to skate, and you can see the different hockey movies which has come out lately. It's the same actors who is playing in the various movies in different roles. When you guys did, because this is the original, this is the holy grail of ice hockey movies, how was the casting done? How did you and the others get in touch with this production?
I actually heard from Scott Glenn, a fellow actor, that they were looking for actors that could skate. Yeah. So I went to Universal Studios and auditioned with some lines, and then they said I had to go to this rink and skate and prove it was a little nerve-wracking. I hadn't put on the blades in about 18 years, but I put them on and it came back like crazy, and I skated rather well. And I was there was a technical advisor, Ned Dowd, whose sister and Ned played Ogie Oglethorpe. But Ned was he was auditioning everybody, and he and I became friends like immediately, and we're still friends. I actually visit him. He lives in Ireland, and I visit him. I just visited him last year, and I'll visit him again this year. And he and I became friends, and he said I was using a pair of rental skates, and he said to the costume guy, he said, "You take this guy to this sports store and go buy him a pair of decent skates."
Oh.
So we went to the local sporting goods store in LA, Los Angeles, and they bought me a pair of Bauer Supremes.
Yeah, I remember those in the movie.
I had never had a pair of skates like that growing up. That was like the best pair of skates I ever owned. It was like amazing.
And one more question here, because this is a ice hockey nerd question, which we all wonder: what happened to the actual memorabilia, the actual gear that you guys wore inside of that movie? Did you guys get to keep the sweaters, or where did it end up? The originals from all of
They
this?
gave us all our uniforms, our original
Yeah.
uniforms. I personally auctioned mine off for a homeless shelter, about 20 years ago here in
Uh,
Burlington, Vermont. Other guys still have them. Some guys sold them online. So
yeah.
there's one jersey at the Hockey Hall of Fame
Yeah.
in a display case there,
Yeah.
and there's so many people making up other jerseys now. Companies,
Exactly.
we sign them that it's. But my original uniform was
Yeah.
purchased for $750 by some doctor.
Oh no, that's a bargain. That's a
I
bargain.
know, to donate to a homeless shelter. But this was about 25 years ago, so
Yeah.
it
Still,
was
yeah.
worth it. You know.
So you
And
know what, Olof?
do you guys still keep in touch with the crew?
Oh yeah,
Would there be a potential Chiefs team in your first pond hockey tournament together?
it could be. Some of the guys are, the guys that really played. Like I just finished an event with the Hanson brothers. They all have like new knees and hips, and they're not as agile as they could be. Touch wood, I have not received any new knees or hips, and I still skate. So
Yeah.
I know I can play.
So maybe what we'll do is we'll get them as honorary coaches next year, and we'll bring. Hey, maybe we can get Denny Lemieux out of
Oh,
retirement, get him to actually play. What's
Yeah.
really cool is I am actually bringing a jersey. Maybe we can auction it off. Captain Johnny was so incredible to sign one for me. You guys keep talking. I may go into the wardrobe and find it.
oh,
Oh yeah,
great, 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 even greater.
yeah. So
Okay,
we
so
do have
next,
the away jerseys.
what?
I only had the home jersey, the blue
Uh,
uniform. So the away jerseys still existed, and we've been signing those. And I think they
okay.
auction them off and donate them and whatnot. Oh
Oh,
yeah, there's one.
There it
there's one.
is.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
signed it last week or a week ago, a couple weeks ago when he was here in Toronto. And I'm bringing this to auction off. Maybe raise a couple bucks for Stop Concussions Germany.
Oh, that's great.
Whoa, that's
Great.
great. That's great. That's great, definitely.
So
Yeah,
let me.
and
Something.
Yeah, I know we're going long in the tooth, but I wanted to show you a really cool picture. There's our classic Captain Johnny. Certainly something to behold. You were a good-looking dude there back in the old days with the
yeah, I wish I could grow
with the
that
mustache.
mustache again.
Well, we can actually spray paint it on you when you come to Germany.
Oh, maybe.
Hey, one of the things as we just get going, Olaf, I'm going to give you the last word to kind of really push what we're doing over there on December the 7th, 8th, and 9th. But I wanted to ask you this question. Obviously, you know, I've taken the Hanson brothers and Danny Lemieux, aka of course Yvonne Barrette, over to Germany. And what I find incredible is the fact, and Olaf, you can probably attest to this because you've seen the movie as many times. Even when we were on the buses in Germany, my goodness, I must have watched that movie 100 times in English. And what I found crazy is when the Hanson brothers and Danny Yvonne came over, little kids were coming up and actually quoting the lines in English, yet they couldn't speak English. Can you
Yeah.
really fathom how deep rooted this movie has been for not only you, Allan, but for everybody that was part of it? Because it was a movie, when you really think back about it, you know, it wasn't Oscar nominee type, but certainly having Paul Newman in it helped deliver it. But you guys, as a cast and crew, made it extra special. And now, as we talk about it 50 years later, and as we're going out to play a pond hockey game, people are still talking about this movie.
Well, it had a certain effect on people because of the combination of actors and real hockey players. And both the actors and the real hockey players were envious and in love with and admirable, admiring each other. And George Roy Hill, the director, had the wherewithal to allow us to just communicate and be together and be ourselves, so that it really became very, very real. It's a very honest portrayal of an honest portrayal of an exaggerated version of what went on in hockey in the minor leagues. And it was delivered by, actors who could act and skate. But I mean, I didn't act that much. I more like thought of a character who I could be, and I just was that person.
Yeah.
And like I was talking to Jeff and Dave, the Hansons, about this. They weren't actors, but they were hockey players, and they delivered their lines the way they would deliver lines in real life.
Yeah.
So it was this mixture and the confidence of the director that he could make a performance out of putting actors and non-actors together in a scene. And it was terrific. And I think it added to the film and made it what it is today. It makes it, I don't like the term, but it explains it. It's accessible. This film's accessible to the real blue collar guy and the real kid that loves hockey. It's just an accessible movie. You see these people, they're not, there's no act. It's not acting. It's not like
it was real.
Yeah.
I'd like to add one thing here.
Alan,
I'd like to add one thing because I'd like to add one thing. When you watch Slapshot, you could definitely tell that it's written from people within the industry, the circus of professional hockey, because each and every one of us who have had the fortunate to be working professionally in this industry, we can relate to so many things. So I think that's why it's appealing even to the people which are in professional hockey, because we can see ourselves in these various type of situations ourselves. It's not only about the fights on the ice and the funny stuffs in that. There is a deeper meaning within Slapshot if you scratch the surface a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to give Olof the final words on.
Good luck over there, and I'll miss you guys over there.
No,
we're not.
Spirit. No, what we're going to do is we are going to get Captain Johnny in his uniform to send us a message. You can record it and send it over to me, and we'll be able to play it before the game. You and I'll script it a little bit, and I'll show it before the game to all the players, and we'll get them really fired up. And I'll tell you what, it'll be so cold, you certainly won't be able to wiggle it.
Okay.
Listen, I want to say before we get going, and Greg Bowden, for us at the World Hockey Alliance, it's all we begin inside the schools. Good math would suggest that this is where the kids are. And once they develop a love for the game with our hockey ball, light stick and ball, it will spark the passion to play on ice. Thanks for your good work, gents. And of course, adding the fact that pond hockey will help us deliver that. Listen, this is where we're playing. Anybody that's in Berlin, do not miss it. It's going to happen at 11 o'clock. You're going to explain it all to us really quickly here. That's where we're playing. Here's the poster. It's all there. You want to be a part of this, make sure you check it out. Send me a message. Send Olof a message. But as we leave, Olof, tell us why we got to get off our bums, get in a flight, get in a car, walk, run, get on a train. It'll be late. Get on a train and get to Berlin to be a part of this great event on December the 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's called the 2023 Capital Classic, Christmas Classic. Why do we need to be there?
Because it's the start of the tradition. It's the start of a new chapter, and it's the start where we combine the greatest things of the game we love. It's just like that. We combine the parts, and we start the tradition that will once a year be able to rejuvenate our passion for the game. That's what it's all about.
All right. So final thing for you then is, how do you say Marcus' last name?
Marcus Nierschel.
Nierschel.
Marcus Nierschel.
Marcus, if you're still watching, I'm putting the bet out right now. Allan, what do you think? My team's got awful. What do you think we should bet on this event? You know what I'm going to do? We're going to find out how many guys are coming from their team. And if they beat us, they get an autographed picture from Captain Johnny. And if we win, they'll get a picture of Captain Johnny autographed.
Gouche, I say you got to work out, because these guys are fierce. These guys travel the world and play ice hockey. This is Marcus' team, and you're in for a game here. It's going to be even.
Well, I'll tell you what, there may be trades before the game even starts. Olof, we can't thank you enough for what you're doing to bring our great game onto a stage where it needs to be. Obviously, reviving the Berlin Capitals. Of course, you know me playing over back in the 80s and 90s. There, they were an iconic team. I had an opportunity to play not against the first team. Some of the boys I got to play against, but I played against their junior team a couple of times. They were called their 1B. It is got tradition, and it's certainly something that you bringing it back is so important. And we promise you next year, Allan and the crew, whoever's still able to come and play, we will be a big part of the 2024 Capital Christmas Classic, because Allan tells me he wants to see the Christmas market in Berlin.
Yes, I do.
Can recommend it.
All right.
You're very welcome.
All right.
No worries.
Thanks. Nice meeting you.
Danke
Nice
und
meeting
viel Glück. Danke und viel Glück. See you, boys.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Wow, I'll tell you what, two iconic people that certainly, one, building the dream for a lot of people. As we know, German fans, there are nothing. There's nothing better than going to a hockey game in Germany and having the drums and the songs and the people enjoying and showing the passion for the game. And I'll tell you what, Olof is reliving that. So we're really honored. All right, we will be back tonight at 6 o'clock with Paul Rosen, the Gouche and Rosie show. We're going to be talking everything that's going on in hockey. Listen, don't forget the Corey Perry story in Chicago. What's going on there? Marc-Andre Fleury, the situation with his mask, still big bunch of question marks. Hey, are the Edmonton Oilers back? Are they for real? Connor McDavid getting a goal and 4 assists, beating up on the Anaheim Ducks 8-2. Is this the turning point for the Edmonton Oilers? We'll be discussing that a little bit later, and I can't wait to be on the show with my good friend Rosie from The Bottom Line. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking some time. I can't tell you how excited I am to travel to Berlin. Make sure you're watching. I'm going to be taking video. We're going to be showing you all the great things that you missed because you didn't get on a flight with me.
You've been listening to Gouche Live with your host, Kerry Goulet, better known as The Gouche, brought to you by the Hockey News and Sports Illustrated.